Welcome back to the video blog. I've made a couple of notes, I will be honest, because I can actually do two things on these. I can tell you what I've been doing, which becomes boring after a while because it's a variation on a theme, or I can talk about my experiences over the years and what I've learnt from them, and as a result possibly save people problems in the future, making the same mistakes I've made or getting in the same traps and situations. Just like learning to drive a car, there's only so many problems in life, and usually once you've found them it's quite easy to keep out of each one. So staying out of trouble, yeah, and basically very many ways to stay out of trouble, and the first one I think, which covers absolutely everything in life, professionally, personally, you name it, is not to take life so seriously. There are only so many things in the world which are actually that harmful and that dangerous. We all know what they are, and if we emotionally react to something without the slightest thought to why we're reacting so much, we feel bad, we make other people feel bad, and it's a waste of time, waste of energy, when in fact there was really nothing worth worrying about in the first place, nothing worth caring about. Anything, whatever it is, you know, why does it bother you so much? Does it really matter? You know, I mean, I think the worst disaster that happens to me outside any sort of physical injury or breaking anything is missing a TV programme I'm not going to be able to see again. But that's real. At least you know that you might not ever get that back, and there'll be a gap in your televisual continuity. But, you know, that's a pain in the arse. But I don't take life that seriously, but I care about it. Now, personal insults, personal arguments and everything. Now, basically on that front, do you need somebody to threaten to kill you? I don't mean, you know, as a joke or when they're angry, but schizophrenics or you know, total nutters that really mean it and could do it. Now, when you've had that, ordinary insults are totally harmless, totally meaningless. You couldn't care less, you know. Low self-esteem. Does it really matter what other people think of you anyway? You know, if they're not paying your bills, or if they're not marking your exams, sod them. You know. One person comes, another person goes. You only want the ones that you really care about, and all the others, does it really matter what they think of you? So it's that sort of thing, taking yourself, other people too seriously, taking your life too seriously. Where are we now? Yeah, it's what's big things and what's small things really, and what matters, and all this competitiveness as well. I mean, I've had people come here, the more successful they are, the more seriously they take their life, the less they enjoy it. Now, you would think, I mean, I always had these ideas that if I succeeded in certain areas I wouldn't have to do very much for the rest of my life, because I'd already proved myself to the world. I got about halfway there, but academically missed out halfway along the track for various reasons, none of which were due to failing the exams, but just not having the time, money or energy to continue any further. So I've done what I can. But these guys I'm talking about, you know, Oxbridge graduates or PhDs, you name it, they don't feel successful at all. All they're thinking about is competing with some twat at work who might be you know, earning slightly more, a bit more senior than them. They don't realise that they're in the top 0.5% of the whole country, and they've got the most successful lives. They'll never have to worry about money for the rest of their life. They've got the biggest status, everyone looks up to them whether they deserve it or not. Yet they are moaning that their girlfriend earns more money than them, or you know, somebody's been rude to them at work. Now, these are apparently intelligent people, but they've got the emotional maturity of a 3-year-old, I would say. So you know, this is the sort of thing that ruins people's life for absolutely no reason. Now, do you want to spend hundreds of pounds and months on cognitive therapy, or just listen to simple, quick advice from me? You know, these aren't mistakes necessarily that I've made. It's my job to see people who make mistakes and to make sense of them, correct them, and learn from their mistakes and share it with all of you. You know, you might go to seminars, weekend groups and all this bollocks where, you know, they string out an hour's message into 2 days so they get 500 quid off people. Now, counsellors, if they're more interested in making money than helping anyone, don't do the one-to-one work very much to start with. They'll go and do seminars, invest thousands of pounds in booking and advertising, hoping that they will get the money back. Because if you charge, say, £100 for a day, you get maybe 30 people, that's £3,000, whatever it is, £30,000, it's a heck of a lot of money. Easily enough to cover their costs and enough, you know, for me to retire for the rest of the year, to be honest. I quite happily live for a year on that sort of cash. But they don't, they do it every week or every month and do it, you know, full houses. Of course, if you're famous, if you've done it for a year or two, and these people come to the groups, and if you're clever that you do it where you live so they can come and see you at home, then they'll think, well, you know, I've got to go and see him rather than pay 50 quid for a normal guy. I'll pay 200 quid to see this other one who's no more qualified or experienced, but just sells himself better and spins out a very short message to last a day or two. You know, that's the unscrupulous way of doing it. Okay, it's a career, you've got to be smart and you've got to be clever, but I think that money is not everything, and it's not worth milking the system when you can earn it properly, however that is. But these messages are only common sense. They're the sort of thing that every generation learns, and then the new generation forgets, or whatever it is. They think they're all learning it from scratch, and all the people that have been before them learnt it all and didn't necessarily bother to pass it on like I'm doing. So I am giving you the fruits of many years getting into lots of trouble, not all the stuff that I talk about, as I said, but plenty of other things. And it's not necessary. Most of the things we get caught up in, if we just stopped and thought, you know, for instance the Buddhists, now if you go to Thailand or somewhere, in any Buddhist country where they bring up the children from an early age without having anger and attachment and jealousy and envy, all this stuff, they don't understand anger there because it's not actually necessary. You can quite easily get through life without getting angry at all if you learn very early in life you don't need to. And people can learn by example. If it's possible for anyone to do it, then it's possible for everyone to do it. If they can, we all can. Attachment to things, you get upset when you lose something, when a girlfriend goes, whatever. You know, how long do you want them to ruin your life when you get chucked? A day, a month or a year? You know, I trained myself to forget about them after a year, because, sorry, a day, because that's long enough. You know, I didn't have them the day before I met them, I don't have them the day after I met them. I've made a profit because I've had a relationship, end of. No shortage of people out there, then no two are the same, but you get rid of one, you get a new one. And millions of them potentially are good enough, as you discover after the second, third, fourth, fifth is actually just as good if not better than the first one. Anyway, my peeper is going. I'm cramming 30-40 years worth of information in here into 10-minute blocks now, and hopefully we'll think of plenty more, maybe from my articles that I've written, whatever, but try and get some education into these, as never goes amiss, especially when it's free. Thank you, good night.